G'day everyone, welcome to Matt Hill Scale Models. Today is a video on a build that I'll be doing. Is the 1/350th scale Dragon USS INGERSOLL, a armoured box launch destroyer, if that makes any sense. I really want to get a ship built under my belt, something which I thought in a decent scale, and something I can put some photo etch on, because I've never really done that before. And I don't care what ship it is, you don't have to have every bit of photo etch on them you can buy, but I think if you want to build a really nice looking model ship, for what I've seen across YouTube and Facebook and everything like that, is you've got to have the photo etch railings on them. It just sets a ship off, for what I've seen. And I was sort of building this because there's another Australian guy, Hibbo's Models. He's building the Enterprise. Go and check out Hibbo's channel. He does a really good job on warships, and sort of inspired me to do this one and try to get this one finished, as I lost parts with the tribal class destroyer that I had, and the part that I lost, and I wouldn't have a clue where it went to, honestly. I wanted to do this and have a go at building a warship, and before I do a Bismarck that I've got and all these other ships I've bought over the years, and just been a little bit intimidated to build them. But this looks like it's going to be a good kit. So I hope you'll come along on my adventure on building a warship. No, could be a disaster. But anyway, we'll have a look what parts we've got. And here's basically what we've got in bags. Everything's all sealed up. The hull, I'm not too sure was in a bag or not. They said I bought my kit second hand. But you know, it's nice to build a full hull model. I do like the sonar array built in the front of him, sort of gives it that nice modern aggressive stance. But you've got 1, 2, 3 sprues of parts, which doesn't look like a real lot, plus the instruction sheet. I'll open bags and we'll have a little bit of looks-see. So to start with, we'll the basic instructions, and this is typical Dragon, sort of opens up and spreads out into this whopping great big massive big, like 1-page double-sided instruction sheet. I won't go through all the steps. Look, it basically, there's a few things you have to watch out with Dragon kits from my experience, because they will they can stuff you over sometimes if you're not careful. But you know, go through the instructions a few times. There's a couple of different variants in this kit which I've noticed. Make sure that you decide on what kit or what version of this class, Sprues class of destroyer, you want to build. With the Ingersoll, you've got to drill some holes and bits and pieces in some of the parts that had some of the box missiles. The Patterson, which is in there's a few different things, and colour callouts and decals on the bridge. And the Ingersoll also, as I said, you've got to assemble this box missile launcher, and there's a few different variations here for name tags and things on the ship's boat. But apart from that, if you go through bits and pieces on these instructions and study them, I think it should be a fairly easy build. The only other thing I do recommend, which I picked up off another channel, which is John Moore's Models, when you go through this kit, mark off what you've glued with a highlighter, so you know what parts you've used, and then double reference that. And also, you know, just keep checking. I can't stress enough with Dragon kits, even though this is a fairly basic one, I can't stress enough just to keep checking what you've got to do, because they will bug you over. There is some parts here not being used. Sometimes that doesn't always work, the way Dragon try to explain things. So, and the only other thing I'll be doing with mine, just to help out a little bit, is the colour callouts are on these middle pages. if you've got it set up on your bench lock, I have to laying up so I can watch it and give myself a clear bench space. I'll mark out what colours these callouts for, these different H numbers. The thing I might be able to find with this, instead of mixing paints, I really hate mixing paints. We've come to a time in model building in this day and age where you should be able to buy paint off the shelf which matches the vessel colour, and you can just load your airbrush up and just let it have it without having to try to mix all this paint up and stuff us around with that. So yeah, the colour call out in Decals systems, you know, it's pretty good there in the end, but I think it's going to be a fairly easy build. But in saying that, we are talking about a dragon kit. So we'll go and check out, we'll have a look at the sprues quickly. So the sprues, will start off with the main hull sprue, which is Sprue A, and it looks really detailed. Got some raised panel line here for the boot striping and things, so you can use that for a guide. It's got a little bit of brown grit and shit on here, which I'm going to have to clean out. It's probably fly shit or something from being in Australia. A couple of sink marks here, there and everywhere. Probably find that's on the other side where they've got these tabs for some reason. Some of these things have got sink marks where the tabs go on the other side, but it looks like it will go together quite simply. We've got Sprue B here. Sprue B looks like this is part for the waterline version at the bottom of the hull, but I'm going full, did I say Sprue B? Sprue H. I haven't got my glasses on. Seahawk helicopter, some different parts of the ship, bulkheads, well, parts of the stand, and some other fittings. Everything looks really flash free. There is a bit of warpage in some of these parts here, but apart from that, it's not too bad. Helicopters come with the folded rotors and things, so I think that won't be too bad. This also, I think, has some of the options for the different armament on the different versions of Destroyer, which one you want to build. And we come up to Sprue C, C for chicken. And we've got some of the superstructure stand parts, ship's boat, some more of the small fittings, flanks and rudders, and some other bits and pieces I wouldn't know, davits. I'll learn this as I go along building it. We've got the shafts here for the props, which they look a little bit bent and twisted, but should glue into place with a bit of luck. Detail still looks pretty good for an old kit, really, considering no injection sink marks or pin marks or anything that's visible. A little bit of flash around the old ship's propeller, but apart from that, everything looks quite good. We'll grab another one. I'm on a roll. This is L. This has some of the upper superstructure, mast, etc. Some of the funnel and lifeboat, and some of these thingy bobs, which I don't know what they are to start with, but I'll certainly learn as I go along. So that's Sprue L. All very nicely moulded so far. We've got Sprue K, which still has some more of the upper superstructure, the front of the bridge. I'm learning things. See, I watch Frankie Day. Funnels, yeah, more of the upper superstructure masks and bits and pieces. Part of the radar, which would look nice and photo etched, but will I? Probably not. But no real big pieces of flash. Everything looks really good. No injection pin marks where they can be seen on any of these bits so far. So that is Sprue K looking okay. Huh, I'm a poet, I don't even know it. Sprue K looking okay. I like that. Anyway, we got here Sprue E. E for Echo. We had some more of the superstructure here at one side. We've got some of the front decking here. We've got the tops of the funnels. Nothing's broken, nothing is warped. A little bit sinky through here, if you can see that in the shadow, probably because there's a tab underneath. No, an ejection pin mark underneath, so it's probably as it's come out, it's pulled down a little bit. Decks warp on ships. I think it'll look right. I was working, and I'm still working on a Airfix Vosper torpedo boat, and that had the worst sink marks ever in the deck. I mean, like, yeah, definitely wasn't ship shape. But some nice detail on this one, so you can sort of, I reckon once it goes down, you can put like a bit of a wash through it. I've got to work out whether these are aluminium hold or steel hold, whether you'd have a lot of rust stains and bits and pieces on it, or whether you have more an oxidization finish. And up to the Foxtrot Sprue, which is virtually the copy of the other one. Has some more superstructure parts, the other side of the superstructure up the top, and just some other parts that I don't know of. A little bit flashy-washy on some of these ones, but not a real lot that would, it won't take much to clean that up. So that is Foxtrot. And then decals. So the decals have a lot of stenciling, American flag. Any stars on the American flag? No. We've got 4 different versions. We've got Elias, Sprues, Peterson, and Ingersoll. So 4 different versions out of this kit. Battle honours here on the side, and these are a little bit yellowish. The white is not white really anymore. I have fixed this problem, placing them into a bag and sticky tape into the window of my model room, and the Great Australian Sun does like bleaching them. I have bleached back some absolute stonkers, but I haven't got the nice sun that I used to have anymore, and it might take a little while longer, but I'll get these straight into a bag tonight, bang on the window, ready for sunrise tomorrow. And finally, in here, good old Dragon tuber glue. Rock hard. Oh yeah, she's Dragon. So stay tuned to video number 2 on the Ingersoll, Sprues, Peterson. We'll work out, depends on how much I stuff up, is what I can do. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you to all my old subscribers for your comments to get me back at the bench. I really, really appreciate your patience and support. And to all my new subscribers, I'm glad you sort of enjoy this amateur show. Till next time, a little bit of effort. Not using Dragon Glue though. You can't get a good result from an old model kit. Catch ya.